सर्वोपनिषदो गावो दुग्धा गोपालनन्दनः पार्थवत्स सुधीर भोक्ता दुग्धं गीतामृतं महत्. Now, last time we discussed up to 21st shloka of the second chapter of the Gita, but your most important, you see, which I said you should again and again think over it, this 16th your shloka, which is very, very important. Nasato vidyate bhavo nabhavo vidyate sataha. That means asat and sat, they are saying. And the context here is Atman. Atman vis-a-vis the body-mind. Same. Now, this Atman is the Sat here, and Asat in this context is body-mind. Though Asat, you see, generally means anything, according to Vedanta, anything which is which takes change. That is Asat. You see. So, and in this context, we must remember, you see, that you see, much of our suffering will go away, I should say. That if you remember this, that Asat is changeful. That means body-mind complex is changeful. So when there is bereavement, we should not really see lament over it, because all the time we should judge that the body-mind is changeful, and through death it normally you see goes to another, you see, finally it will take, you see, the Atman will take another body. So the body will be a new body, but much of the mind is not new. You see, this is the thing. Much of the mind is not new. Even in physics, you see, in this physical world, I am in front of a table, and if this table is burnt, you see, where does the electrons in the table go? They are not burnt. They remain. You see. So, you see, everything in this world is like this, that something gross goes away, but something subtle which is inhering in it remains. So you see, in the body we have this normally sthula sharira, the gross body, and the sukshma sharira, the subtle body. And they, of course, they talk about another body, karana sharira, the causal body, this seed body. And now, these three bodies, and this is again seen in another way as 5 sheaths in Vedanta. Annamaya kosha, the gross body made up of your food, and then the vitalistic body, you see. That means the pranamaya sharira. I am displaying energy. This is pranamaya sharira. In fact, the your one of the signs of life is this that you are moving. You see, you are displaying energy. So this is prana. You see, and then the manomaya kosha. Manomaya kosha is the mind, the mental sheet, but mental in the Vedantic way. You see, the English word mind does not carry the whole connotation of what is there in Vedanta, because the ordinary fickle mind, the mind which proposes and disposes, is called manas. So we are. I am sitting here now. You see, I am thinking of, let me go and visit a friend. This is the mind which is doing it. So this is the mental sheet. And in this, your mental process, you see, there is some deep convictions. There is some certainty in you see. So then it is not mental, it goes to the buddhi level, you see. In fact, the difference between one person and another is mainly because of the difference in the level of buddhi. That means certainty. Some people have decided that money will give you happiness, so let us gather money. It's true that money will give you happiness. Sometimes money is the cause of unhappiness, you see, also. So this is your, you see, some people have, you see, that knowledge is most important. So they're seeking knowledge, you see. You see, they're reading books, seeking knowledge, etc. This is other type. There are other people who think that no, physical beauty is the most important thing. By that physical strength and physical beauty is important, because by that you can rule over others, you see, and charm others, you see. So you see, different people have different. Some others think of you see, political power, you see. Having power over the group of people, over the society, you see, and have much influence, etc. So that is so different, and they seek throughout their life. Then because of this conviction, there's some conviction. So this is at the buddhi level. Now, then there's another sheet they call, you see, that is, we have discussed the annamaya kosha, pranamaya kosha, manomaya kosha, and the vijnanamaya kosha. There's another thing. In deep sleep, for example, it happens, you see. In deep sleep, what is happening, that means a deep sleep, which is sometimes for many people, they do not experience at all, because they do not have deep sleep. The dreamless deep sleep. So when you have it, you wake up and say that, you see, I slept well, and I did not know anything. So in that deep sleep, this absence of knowledge is also a knowledge. You are saying that you did not know anything. You see. So something was there in you which was registering this absence of knowledge, and it is being carried over, you see, after you are waking up. So this is actually they call it blissful sheath, Anandamaya Kosha, and this is the other name is Karana Sharira. It's a causal body is this sheath, the last mentioned sheath. In between the three sheaths, the first sheath was Annamaya Kosha, and then Pranamaya, Manamaya, Vijnanamaya, they go under Sukshma Sharira, and there is this Karana Sharira. Now, when death occurs, we all know that ultimately the physical sheath that is decomposed eventually, you see, after your death. Now, what happens to the others, you see? Hindus, Buddhists, Jains, Sikhs, they all believe that, you see, you have a reincarnation. Reincarnation means taking flesh again, or simply taking a body again, you see, or in other words, getting another birth. Now we may say that this is a theory, this is not correct, etc., etc. From my own experience, you see, and from the experience of men like Stevenson, for example, who has written books on it. For example, one book is The Phenomenon of Claimed Memories of Previous Lives, you see, possible interpretations and importance. He's a psychiatrist and American, and he has written this book, and he has also written, you see, about intersection between this theory and biology, you see, books on that, and has recorded cases. This is not only in America. America, it gets your notice throughout the world because they publish books, they go to the media, etc., etc. In India also, you see, for the last, I should say, more than 50 years, things have been recorded, and these have been verified, etc., that the fact that it exists, and in my own life, I have come across, you see, the cases of Jatismara. So one should be clear about it, otherwise one will always think that these are all metaphysical concepts and it has no relation to hard facts, you see, especially in this age of science. So, but I may again go to this, your nasato vidyate bhavo, nabhavo vidyate sata. You should reflect on it, you see. Much of our suffering will go away if you think about it, that, you see, what it means, that what is changeful will not be sought. That means it will not be the same thing in all times. And the opposite is true. So, and what is sat, it cannot be annihilated. What is does not really take change, it does not annihilate. So, if you deeply think on this, nasato vidyate bhavo, nabhavo vidyate sata, many of the sufferings in life will be mitigated, because Vedanta, after all, has to be applied to life. You see. Now, after that, you see, Many of the shlokas, for example, your next shloka, as I have said, that it goes to another level. Avinashi tu tad viddhi yena sarvamidam tatam. So it is not talking about the Jivatman here, because Jivatman does not pervade the whole universe. You see, it is the Atman, Paramatman, which pervades the whole universe. So he is talking about this thing here. Because why it is saying, why the Gita says so? Because at one point in your existence, you will understand what is Brahman. And then, when you understand this, your this mind will fall, Sukshma Sharira will fall, and the death which will follow you in that birth, that will be the final death. You see, you become one with Brahman. You see, that is the you see, yogis say, Hindu philosophers say, etc., etc. Now, that thing, this Paramatman, is the base of the Jivatman. Nothing in this universe can be without Brahman or Paramatman, you see. Normally, the word Paramatman is not used in case of your inanimate objects, but finally, inanimate and animate, there is a link between them. If there is not a link, then how could Sri Ramakrishna, you see, bring animation to the image of Kali? How could he bring animation to the image of the child Rama, you see, given to him by a sadhu, so Ramlala, you see. So how could he do it, you see? There must be a link between the, you see, inanimate and the animate, and Sri Ramakrishna has affirmed on the basis of his, spatial visions that God, you see, has become everything, including the inanimate objects, etc. So, that is the thing, you see. So finally, you see, this, the basis, my point is that the basis of everything, animate or inanimate, is this Brahman, or what they call Sat in Vedanta, Satchidananda, you say, all these terms, you say. Avinashi tu tad viddhi yena sarvamidam tatam. Because it is the subtlest thing, by that everything has been pervaded. You cannot annihilate it, you say. For example, even in the physical world, for example, take the example of this table or this wall in front of you. You say, in fact, much of these things contain space. You see, now destroying the wall or destroying this table, can you annihilate this space? You cannot. You see, it is so subtle that you cannot do it, you see. So similarly, you say, Abhinashi tu tad viddhi yena sarvamidam tatam. Vinasham abhyasasya na kaschit kartumarhati. Now, you see, next verses give this description very graphically. You say, Antavanti me deha nityasakta sharirinaha, etc. This body will go away, but the shariri, that means the one who is the master of the body, he is nitya, etc. Then yainang vetti hantarang jaschainang mannati hatam uhoto na bijanita nayanti nahanyate. This has been taken almost verbatim from Kathopanishad, you see. So one who knows as the causer, as the killer, you see, and one who experiences himself as being killed, both of them they do not know, you see. Both of them do not know, because you cannot annihilate a person totally. You can kill a man in the sense that you shear off his body, etc., or burn his body, but you cannot annihilate this person totally, because we have discussed just now, there are other dimensions of the personality. You cannot annihilate, you see. So it goes on, and we have discussed also that this Nayang Bhutva Bhavita Bhadamuva. It is the 20th sloka. It is not something which exists after having been born. See, because everything in this world, animate or inanimate, say, has existence after it is created, after it is born. But you see, Atman, it simply exists eternally, without change. Ayo nitta shashratoyam purana. It is really birthless. This subtle principle is birthless. Ajo, Nitya and Shashrata, they almost mean the same thing. You see, these words are there to heighten the effect. So, Veda Vinashanang Nittang Yaenam Ajavadvan Kathang Sapurusha Partha Kanghate Tihantikam. We have finished this. Now, a beautiful example is being given. It's a Vasam se Yernani Jatha Vihaya Navani Ganhati Naroparani Tata Shairani Vihaya Jananyanani Samyati Navani Dehi. The changing of cloth. You something, a cloth is worn out, you reject it and put on a new cloth. Similarly, the master of the body, he rejects the worn out body, and another body is taken up, they say. So then some graphic language is being shloka after shloka. Nainang chinnanti shastrani, nainang dahati pavaka. Weapons do not cleave it. You say fire does not burn it. You say nachainang kledan tapo nashoshayati maluta. Water cannot moisten it. Wind cannot dry it up. So achadoyam alakhoyam akledya ashashyevacha nitya sarvagata sthanur achuloyam sanatana. Now this is another idea, sarvagata. It has entered everywhere. You see, there is no place where this principle of Paramatman or Brahman is not there. There is nothing. Sarvagata. Sthanu Rachuloyam Sanatana. There is a mantra in Ishopanishad. Anejate ekang manusayabiyo naina devapnuban purvamarshat tadhavato vanyanatteti tishtat tasmin apoma darishvadarati. Now, that means it is saying that it does not move, still it is faster than the mind. Why? You see, commentators say that it is because of, for example, let us imagine that we have gone to the moon mentally. And now, before we have reached here, because this is a mental act, it requires a very little time. The Atman is there because, you see, there is nothing in the universe which is devoid of Atman Brahman. So, Manuso Jobiyo, it is faster than the mind, though it is not moving, you see, in that sense. So, Nitya Sarvagata Sthanur Acholo Yang Sanatana. It Acholo, it does not move. Because it does not take any changes, and it is eternal. Abbaktoyam achintoyam abhikaryoyam uchyate. It is non-evident. We do not see it. It's abbakto. It cannot be thought of because actually, you see, one cannot think of the Atman. One cannot think of the Atman. Why? Because the Atman is the thinker, is the real thinker, is the even as the Kena Upanishad puts it, yad manasan manute yadahur manomatam. The mind cannot think of it because they say, because mind, the action of the mind, the mental acts are comprehended by it. That means it is because of this principle that the mind is able to conceive and perceive things. So, achintoyam, it cannot be, you cannot think it, you cannot see it, you cannot, because the seer, it is the seer, it is the perceiver, you see. You cannot see it, you see. Abbaktoyam, machintoyam, abhikaryoyam. It does not take any modification. Tasmat evam vedityainang nanu shochiti marhasi. Therefore, knowing this like this, you should not lament, you see, if you have this knowledge. Athachainang nityayatang nityang bamannase mritam tathavitang mahavaha nainang sachitumarhasi. Now, if you think that, alternatively, if you think that this self is subject to constant births and deaths, you see, even then there is no justification of this lamentation. Yes. Now, a great pronouncement is being made, 27th shloka. Jatasya dhruvo martur dhruvam yanma matasya cha. As a general rule, I say, one who is born is sure to die, and one who is dead is sure to be born again. I say. So this is the eternal law. So tasmad apariharjate natpang shachitumarasi. So this is a law, cosmic law, and this is inevitable. So there is no justification for your grief. Now, Dhruvang Janma Mritasya cha, it is a general rule. A time will come when this Janma will not happen. Janma will not happen. As the Holy Mother used to say, you see, of course, based on Sri Ramakrishna's experience, that any creature which dies in Benares will not be born again. So one day, Rajbihari Maharaj, Arupananda Swami, he pointed towards a dead fly lying on the ground in Benares and asked the Holy Mother, so this fly is also is getting mukti, liberation? Holy Mother affirmed, yes, this fly also. And so this is one thing. Another thing she used to say, that your your most of her children, that means those who have been initiated by her and by Swami Brahmananda, they will not be born again. So, Abbakta Dini Bhutani Bhakta Madhyani Bharata Abbakta Nidhan Neva Tatra Ka Paribedevana. So, before birth, a person is in some sphere not evident. When he is born and continues to live, he is bhakta, he is evident. And when he dies, again he vanishes from our perception. You see, abhakta never. Therefore, this is a cosmic law, so you should not grieve. Ashchajyavat pashyati kaschidenam ashchajyavat vadati tathaiva chanyah ashchajyavacchainam annashrunoti suttapyenam veda nachaiva kaschit. Now, somebody has a glimpse of it and they marvel at it. Some others speak of it as a marvel. Yet others hear of him as a marvel. So, you see, even after, you see, Sutvapyenang Veda Nachaiva Kaschit, even after hearing these things, no one understands. Because for understanding, you see, as the Kathopanishad says, Ashchajya Bhakta Kushalasya Labdha, Ashchajya Gyata Kushalanamiya. You see, the teacher must be wonderful teacher. And the recipient of the message must be also wonderful, you see. Then it happens. And that means it gives the result. We have, you see, we have the example of Naren, you see. He heard it from a wonderful person and himself was in many respects wonderful. Ashchajya Bhakta Kushalasya Labdha. Kushala means expert. You see. It comes from Kusha, one who is expert in gathering the Kusha leaves, because when they are not dry, they may damage your skin. So you must be expert. From that, the word kushala has come, in the sense of expert. Kushalasya labdha. Dehi nityam abadhoyam dehi sarvasya bharata tasmat sarvani bhutani natvang shochitum arhasi. The same idea is again being repeated here. Now another reason is pushed forward. Sadharmam opi chaveksha na vikampi tumarhasi. Dharmadhi yuddhasya danyat kshatyasya navaidyate. He's saying that look at your swadharma. That means the dharma, the duty prescribed for your caste. He belongs to the line of Kshatriyas, warriors, and warriors, they have, the duty of Dushtadamana Shishtapalana. That means you must punish the wicked, and you must sustain the law-abiding people. So, in this case, if you look at your own sadharma, Krishna says, you should not tremble, because war is a part of the Kshatriya duty, you see. And unfortunately, India forgot it and ignored the Shastra Dharma, and that, brought tremendous misery to this, I am talking about the hordes of your Islamic invaders who entered into India and killed millions of people in 500 years. It is the most, in the history of the recorded history of the world, it is the most sanglant affair, says your Will Durant, the great historian. So that is because, as Swami Vivekananda pointed out, one mistake of Emperor Ashoka, in spite of his greatness, in spite of his magnanimity, in spite of his great passion for the Dharma of Buddha, this dampening the Kshatriya energy in this country is mainly due to him, as has been pointed out by Swami Vivekananda, and which was later on gradually corrected by such people as the Guru Ramdas, Samarth Ramdas of Maharashtra through Shivaji, and by Guru Govind, the 10th Guru of the Sikhs, and in another plane, to protect the Hindu monks against the invaders, the great sage and great scholar, Madhusudan Saraswati. These people tried to do something. Jaddichaya chopapannang swargadharam papapritam sukhina kshatriya partha lavante yuddham idrisham. Now he is telling that Jadichaya, but he did not seek this war. This war has been imposed upon you. So, Sargadwaram Apabritam, it is the door to heaven has been opened to you, because if you do your duty, then you go to heaven, you see, whether you are victorious or you are killed, you see. And he says that only happy Kshatriyas, they get such your war situations. That means to battle in the name of justice. Atho chet imam dharmang sangramang na karishyasi tata swadharmang kirtin chetva papam avapsasi. Then if you do not do this righteous war, then you will incur sin and you will fall in the estimation of the people, and that's it. You see, you are, everything is negative on the other side. Akirtinchapi bhutadi katheshanti te bhayam sambhavitasya chakirte maranad tirichyate. And everyone will speak ill of you, saying that you see, such a great hero, he became, he behaved like a coward on the battlefield. Then you see, a person who is enjoying respect, for him, it is this much more inferior than death, you see. And that means in death you have a catastrophic collapse of the physical body, but this is much more than that, you see. And that's why there are people, you see, for example, the Rajput ladies in the Middle Ages, to save their honor, they used to jump into the fire. So, Bhayadranat Puratang Mashyanti Tang Maharata Jishanchitang Bahumato Putva Jasasilavam. So, these great heroes, they will think that out of fear, you have, say, retreated from the battlefield. And once you were held in high esteem by them, and will go down in their estimation. Avachvadangsya bahum badishyanti tavahita ninnantas tavasamartang tatu dukkhatarang. And talking about the enemies will talk, say, nonsense about you. When in derogatory speeches and remarks about you. And they will doubt, you see, belittle your prowess. What more is your painful than that? There is a, you see, in the Mahabharata itself, Gita is a part of the Mahabharata. Just before the war, Dhritarashtra passed the night in talk with Vidura, because Vidura was the wise man. Naturally, Dhritarashtra's mind was restless, and he wanted to pass the night in this way, by talking with a wise person. Among many other things, Vidura says, Eko Kshamavatam dosha dityo nopapadyate yadenang shmaya yuktam ashaktang manyate yana. That there is one defect of the persons who forgive, and there is no second defect can be found. The defect is this, that if you are a person who is pardoning, you see, of the type, then people think that you are not, you see, you do not have the energy to fight against injustice. Now, another point is being made in the next sutta. Niha vikramanashasti prattavaya navidyate sarpamapyasya dharmasya chayate mahato bhayat. Now, this is very prattavaya is means you are not able to do something, due to that some sin occurs. And what is avikramanasha? It is best exemplified by your effort in agriculture, for example. For example, horticulture. You are preparing garden or vegetables garden, and you have tilled the earth, you have raked up the earth, you have, you see, powdered the things, the big clods of mud, then you have put the seeds, correct? You have done the weeding in correct time, but you fail to give water, sufficient water, and your effort is lost. This is the, you see, avikramanasha. That means whatever you have done previously, due to, since you have not done the whole thing in a chain, so the whole effect is lost. This is avikramanasha. Krishna says here that in this knowledge of Atman, there is no avikramanasha. Whatever little you do, that remains. It is not that you have to, you see, have to be, you see, purna jnani to, you see, need not. Even if you salpamapyasya dharmas yatrayate mahatma, a little of this dharma will save you from great danger. Great danger because, you see, for example, old age itself is a frightening thing to many people, because they foresee death, they foresee collapse of the body, and this is very frightening for you. But if you are grounded in this truth, you will not be frightened. You can say, the other day, yesterday, those who have attended, we talked about this incident which Swamiji observed in company with dishes the Pumar. The ex-bank manager, he's driving a Phaeton and earning his living and taking it with full grace. So that is the thing that was a little, when you have this of dharma, you trayate mahato bhaya, the great danger you are saved from. Bhavasayatmika buddhir ekeha kurunandana bhushakha yanantascha buddhayor abhyavasayiram. Now, the Bhavasayatmika Buddhi. What is this Bhavasayatmika Buddhi? The Buddhi, that means the understanding, you see, which produces conviction. That is Bhavasayatmika Buddhi. That is always single. That means single means one-pointed. You see many people, they do not know what to do in life. They students, they sometimes change subjects. Grown-up men, they switch on from one profession to another profession, not because of need, but because they do not know what they want in life. They do not know what they like, you see. So that is this, there is no big conviction behind the Bhavasayatmika Buddhi. That is a Bhavasayatmika Buddhi Ekeha Kurunandana. That is always single. When you do not have Bahushakha Yanantascha, there are many branches and the infinite number. You see. Buddhayoga Bhavasayinam. You see. So you must have tremendous conviction, you see. And this conviction is given by this Atma-jnana. Now, next Krishna turns to a little see, against the ritualistic portion of the Vedas, and he attacks it in a way. Yamimang pushpitang vacha pravadanti abhyaschita vedavada ratah kaschid vedavada ratah partha nanyata stiti vadinaha. Now, those who are delight in the eulogistic statements of the Vedas. What are the eulogistic statements? For example, in the Vedas, it is the apama somam amitava bhuma. We have drank the soma juice and we have become immortal. By drinking soma juice, you do not become immortal. You see? You may have a little euphoria, but you do not become immortal. You see? These are yaimang pushpitang vacha pravadanti avipashita. So those who are not your the discriminative type, you see, they talk about certain this flowery language. So Vedabhadarata, the eulogistic portions of the Veda. This is eulogy is normally you find many hymns. You see, that at the end of the hymn they will say that you go to Tirtha, you go, you give charity, you you do sacrifices, but it will not be in 1/16 of the merit you earn by reciting this hymn. So many at the end of this is eulogy. You should not take it literally. You see. So, Vedavada Ratah Partha Nanyata Stiti Vadina. They say that there is nothing beyond this. You see. And he is saying, Kamatmana Swargapara Janma Karma Phala Pradam Kriya Bishasha Bahulang Bhogasha Jagatim Prati. Their mind is full of desires. For them, heaven is the final thing. And whatever they do, they give you birth and karma. More births and more karma. Janma, karma, and fruits of these actions. Janma, karma, phala pradam. Kriya vishesha bahulam. There is, you see, full of special rituals. You should give the fire, you see, in this way. Faggots should be of this size. So, Kriya Vishra Bahulan. And their final goal is Bhoga and Aishwarya, enjoyment and wealth. This is their thinking. So, Krishna is attacking them, yes, in this. That means go out of this ritual, that means take refuge in Atma Vidya. That is the message. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamyavavashishyate. Have you any questions?
Pranam Maharaj.
Yes.
You have mentioned about the birth and rebirth, and the cycle ends at certain point of time. So
yes.
how does it come to an end, and what the human beings are supposed to do to get this rebirth stopped?
Rebirth stopped, you see, that is the yogas. Yogas, one method is the jnana. Jnana, you think about it, that Atman is, who is the Atman? Atman is the seer, Atman is the experiencer. Atman cannot be thought of because it is the power behind the thinking itself. You see, it is power behind the thinking itself. So thinking in this way, you clear your buddhi, etc. And in this process, what will happen when you are too much in the, because this is a very high truth. You see, it is not the ordinary truth, it is satyasya satyam. It is the truth of truths. So something, you see, this will gradually annihilate all your attractions towards the other things of the world. And you will enter into this, that is Jnana Yoga, you see. There is this Raja Yoga, that is to concentration. You have Samadhi, etc., in the highest Samadhi, highest kind of Samadhi, then this thing you are aware of. In the Bhakti Yoga, you see, it is through intense bhakti, you begin to see God in everything. In everything. And you take everything as God's grace. So whatever happens, someone near and dear one passes away, you take it as God's. So if you do it like this, you see, by God's grace, you will, as Sri Ramakrishna said that he saw in this Manikarnika that the Divine Mother is undoing the knots in the Jiva's mind, and Shiva is giving a Taraka mantra, and he's liberated the souls. He saw it, you see. So these are the things, you see. If you have knowledge, you need not go to, as Sri Ramakrishna used to sing, Gaya Ganga Prabhashadi Kashikanchi Kevachai Kali 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 bole amar ajapa jadi puray. That means if you are constantly, those who are great bhaktas, you see, normally they go, the easiest way is the constant japa. Constant japa. It is not a periodic, a little japa, etc., etc. Constant japa. So whenever you are doing something in this world, you cannot do because you have to eat, you have to take your bath, etc., etc. So a part of your mind does japa due to the practice. You see. So these are so there are many ways like this. You see. If you cannot do that, you see, then Sri Ramakrishna said that if you are very busy, etc., at least twice in the day, you see, for a time, he used to say, Khub ekta pranam korbe. Khub ekta pranam means you bow down to God and for a few moments you forget the world and totally surrender. If you cannot do at least these two things. And Holy Mother said to Swami Sadhanananda, you see, I know it from his friend Swami Adinathananda. Sadhananda, he told, he asked the Holy Mother after receiving mantra, how many times should I do japa? Mother replied, my child, Thakur told me that one who remembers me takes my name 10 times at the end of the day. At the last time, I shall come to take his soul away. Dinante Darbar. You are so busy, you do not find, I say, at the end of the day, 10 times you take the name of God. So it has been made so easy.
Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you.
Okay. Any other question?
Pranam Maharaj, Maharaj Devjyoti.
Yes.
What Sri Krishna tells Arjuna about, if you do not do your duty, people will speak ill of you, and this is worse than death. In a householder's life, how do we know, Maharaj, when have we come to that stage where that duty of earning money and providing for the family and everybody else is over, and that one should move on? So from the earlier stage to today's modern world, how do we really, there is no varnashrama concept anymore for us. So how do we really make that decision, Maharaj?
No, I do not understand your question really. What is your problem? Varnashrama is not there, I understand. Then?
Yeah, so if we move away from earning money, and we are we are committing ourselves or dedicating ourselves
No,
to.
that's why. That is the reason why Sri Ramakrishna is addressing to the most, most busy people. You see, Adhar Sen, for example, he used to come and he used to be so tired because he was a deputy magistrate, and he used to be so tired that he used to spread a mat and he used to sleep in the Sri Ramakrishna's room. After a few hours, Sri Ramakrishna used to wake him up and he used to take his carriage home. Just coming to Sri Ramakrishna, seeing him, they say, but he was so tired he could not listen to. He used to straight away sleep in Ramakrishna's room. You see. So you see, Sri Ramakrishna knew that. That's why he said that if you're so busy, then you see, khub ekta pranam korbe. That means twice daily you go to the shrine or you say image which I've kept in your house in a corner, and for a few moments you forget the world. Total surrender. You see. So, and that is one thing. And normally people do not work till their very, very old age. There's a time of retirement. So this habit, see, when the time has come for retirement, you can plunge yourself more and more. That is another thing, you see. This problem of earning money was there also, you see. In these days, we use so many machines and this and that. Previously, it was not there. They had to draw water, say they had to prepare fire, say for cooking. So they had to work in the field for having some, say, grains, etc. So this was there always.
Right, Maharaj.
Okay, then let us take a leave.
Pranam Maharaj.
Yes.
Pranam Maharaj, Satyajit.
Yes. Let us now